Here is something that happens in nearly every household, at every income level, every single morning. You open a full wardrobe, clothes on every rail, a drawer that barely closes, shoes you haven't worn in 2 years, and you think, I have nothing to wear. That feeling is not about quantity, it's about system. And old money understands this in a way that most modern wardrobes never do. Because old money does not have a wardrobe full of clothes. They have 10, maybe 12 pieces, bought once, cared for properly, and worn with an ease and authority that a wardrobe of 100 fast fashion items will never produce. Today, I am going to give you that system. 10 specific pieces, what they are, what to look for when you buy them, and, more importantly, why each one earns its permanent place in the wardrobe. By the end of this video, you will have everything you need to build a complete old money wardrobe, and you will never need to think about what to wear the same way again. Before we get to the 10 pieces, I need to establish something, because without it, this becomes just another wardrobe list, and it isn't. Old money dressing is built on a philosophy that is almost completely foreign to the way most people buy clothes today. Modern fashion culture operates on scarcity and newness. There is always a new season, a new trend, a new essential, something to replace what you bought last season that is apparently already outdated. This cycle is lucrative for the fashion industry and genuinely expensive for everyone participating in it. Old money stepped off this cycle generations ago. Their philosophy has 3 rules that govern every purchase. First, natural fibers only: wool, cashmere, cotton, linen, leather. These are the materials that age beautifully, that breathe correctly, and that carry the texture and weight that synthetic alternatives can never replicate. Second, color restraint: navy, camel, cream, ivory, charcoal, white, brown. Every piece must work with every other piece without effort. Third, fit above everything. A well-fitting piece from a modest brand will always outperform a poorly fitting piece from an expensive one. Always. With those 3 rules in place, everything else follows. Here are the 10 pieces that follow. 1. The navy blazer. If there is one piece that the old money wardrobe is built around, the single item that does the most work, appears in the most contexts, and most immediately signals that a person dresses with intention, it is the navy blazer, not a suit jacket separated from its trousers, not a sports coat in a pattern. A navy blazer, single-breasted, 2 or 3 button, natural shoulder. The kind that sits on the body rather than dominating it. What makes the navy blazer irreplaceable is its range. It works over a white Oxford shirt and gray trousers for a business meeting, over a cashmere crew neck and dark denim for a weekend lunch, with a polo shirt on a summer evening. There is almost no occasion below black tie where a navy blazer cannot function, and function with complete authority. When you buy it, look for 3 things: wool or wool blend construction, not polyester, not a synthetic mix; a lining that lies flat without pulling; and, most critically, shoulders that sit exactly at the edge of your natural shoulder. Nothing dates a blazer faster than an ill-fitting shoulder, and nothing is harder to alter. The shoulder is the one thing that must be right from the beginning. Buy this piece once. If you choose correctly and care for it properly, cedar hanger, steamed never pressed, dry cleaned only when unavoidable, this blazer will be with you for 20 years. 2. The white Oxford shirt. If the navy blazer is the outer layer that old money puts on for the world, the white Oxford shirt is the layer closest to the person. the quiet foundation that everything else builds from. Oxford cloth, that slightly textured basket weave cotton, does something that poplin and broadcloth don't. It's casual enough for a weekend, structured enough for a meeting, and forgiving enough to look right whether it's fully tucked, half-tucked, or open-collared with the sleeves rolled. It moves between contexts without asking permission. The collar matters. A button-down collar, where the collar points fastened to the shirt itself, is the old money choice. It doesn't roll or gape without a tie. It sits with a relaxed, uncontrived neatness that is the entire aesthetic in miniature. What to avoid? Bright white that screams newness, which is actually not the old money look. Off-white, cream white, optical white, with the right amount of weight. These are the versions that will look expensive rather than fresh out of a packet. And look at the buttons. Bone or mother-of-pearl buttons signal quality immediately. White plastic signals the opposite. This is the most worn piece in the wardrobe. Buy two. Identical. Rotate them. Wash carefully. Hang dry. Iron while still slightly damp. These shirts, treated correctly, last a decade. 3. The cashmere crew neck. There is a specific kind of warmth that cashmere provides that no other material replicates. Not just physical warmth, though it is extraordinary at that, but visual warmth. The soft, slightly luminous quality that cashmere carries in photographs, in rooms, in the space between what you're wearing and how people respond to you. Old Money owns cashmere in 1 or 2 colors. Camel is the first choice. It sits with navy, with gray, with cream, and with denim in a way that appears almost mathematically correct. Ivory is the second. Navy, if you want versatility, with the blazer. The crew neck rather than the V-neck for this wardrobe. The crew neck is cleaner, more modern, and layers more naturally over a shirt collar, which is the primary use case. The V-neck has its place, but the crew neck is the workhorse. Quality test. Hold a piece of cashmere up to the light. If you can see significant light through it, it's too thin to last. 2-ply or above is the standard worth buying. And run your hand across the surface. Quality cashmere is smooth and slightly cool to the touch, even before it warms. Pilling on the first wash is a guarantee you bought the wrong thing. The right cashmere crew neck in camel, worn over a white Oxford shirt with navy trousers and penny loafers, is one of the most effortlessly complete old money looks in existence. That combination requires 3 pieces. All 3 are on this list. 4. Tailored wool trousers. Every wardrobe has a midpoint, a fulcrum around which the upper and lower halves balance. For an old money wardrobe, that fulcrum is a pair, or ideally 2 pairs, of tailored wool trousers. Charcoal gray flannel is the first, navy is the second. Between those 2 colors, the trouser problem is permanently solved. Charcoal gray works with everything. Navy adds depth and pairs particularly well with the camel crew neck and the brown loafers we'll come to later in a combination. So classically correct, it borders on a uniform. What makes a trouser tailored in the old money sense isn't necessarily bespoke. It means a mid-rise sit that doesn't pull at the hip. A clean line through the thigh, not slim, not wide, straight. A hem that breaks just at the top of the shoe with a single light crease. Nothing more. The waistband should be substantial. A trouser with a thin, cheap waistband telegraphs its price point immediately. The waistband is structural. It determines how the trouser sits, moves, and holds its shape across a long day. Wool over polyester, flannel, or a fine tweed over a synthetic blend. These are the non-negotiables. Wool breathes, presses beautifully, and, unlike its synthetic counterparts, improves with wear rather than degrading. We're halfway through the wardrobe. I want to pause for a second and point something out. Every single piece so far works with every other piece we've covered, and with every piece still to come. That's not a coincidence. That's the entire system. By the time we finish the last piece, you'll be able to see the complete wardrobe in your head, and the maths of it will start to make sense. Keep going. 5. The camel trench coat. Outerwear is where most wardrobes make their most visible and most expensive mistakes. A coat that doesn't fit correctly ruins everything underneath it. A coat in the wrong color doesn't cooperate with the rest of the wardrobe. A coat in synthetic fabric loses its shape by the end of the first winter. The old money answer to outerwear is and has always been the camel trench coat. Not the military green, not the navy, not the plaid liner version. The camels in gabardine or heavy cotton, belted, reaching the knee, with a storm flap at the shoulder and a substantial collar that can be worn up without looking theatrical. The camel trench is the unifying piece of the entire wardrobe. It works over everything. The blazer and trousers for a formal day, the crew neck and denim for a weekend, the Oxford shirt and loafers for something in between. The color sits against navy, charcoal, cream, and white without competing with any of them. This is the most visible piece in the wardrobe because it's the one people see before anything else in every outdoor context. Invest here disproportionately relative to everything else. If you can only spend significantly on one piece, this is the one. A camel trench coat of genuine quality on the right person communicates everything before the conversation starts. Quick pause. If this wardrobe system is landing the way I intended, you'll be noticing that nothing here is trend dependent. Nothing is seasonal. Nothing needs to be replaced next year. That's the point. And the last 5 pieces are where it comes together into a complete working wardrobe. Subscribe if you want more of this. Let's keep going. 6. Dark indigo straight-leg denim. Old money wears denim. This surprises people who associate the aesthetic purely with formal dress. But old money has always understood the value of a single correct casual piece, because being dressed correctly for every context, including informal ones, is part of the discipline. The denim they choose is dark indigo, not distressed, not faded, not cropped, not slim fit to the point of restriction. A straight leg sitting at or slightly above the natural waist, with a clean, dark rinse that reads as intentional rather than casual. This is the one pair of jeans in the wardrobe, one pair, not 5, not a range of washes. One pair chosen correctly that works with the cashmere crew neck above it and the penny loafers below it, and produces an outfit that is simultaneously relaxed and completely composed. The details that separate quality denim from its alternatives: selvage construction along the inner seam, riveted stress points at the pocket corners, and a deep indigo that doesn't fade in the first wash. The weight of the fabric when you hold it matters. Lightweight denim loses its structure. The right pair holds its shape from the waistband to the hem across a full day. Dark indigo denim with a camel crew neck, a white Oxford shirt underneath, and brown penny loafers is the old money off-duty uniform. It requires 4 of the pieces on this list. Every piece earns its place. 7. Brown leather. Penny loafers footwear communicates more about how a person understands dressing than almost any other element of an outfit. The shoes tell you whether the rest of the wardrobe is considered or accidental. And in the old money wardrobe, there is a specific shoe that functions as the signature, the one that appears in more contexts, with more pieces, and with more authority than any other. The penny loafer, in brown calf leather, with a leather sole. The penny loafer is the footwear equivalent of the navy blazer, a piece with extraordinary range that moves from formal to casual without drawing attention to itself. It works with trousers, it works with denim, it works without socks in summer, and with fine merino socks in winter. It is the one shoe that old money relies on for everything that isn't black tie. The color, brown, is deliberate. Brown leather grounds the neutral palette of the wardrobe and provides warmth that black leather, with its harder, more formal associations, does not. In old money dress codes, navy and brown is a more considered combination than navy and black. Brown and camel, brown and charcoal. These pairings have been correct for 100 years. What to look for? A leather-lined interior. Your foot should feel leather, not fabric or synthetic. Leather sole over rubber. The sole is the first thing that tells a person who understands shoes whether your pair is worth knowing about. And a last with a slight taper. Not a pointed toe, not a round toe, but the considered middle ground. 8. The polo shirt. Every wardrobe needs a bridge piece, something that sits precisely between formal and casual, and handles both without apology. In the old money wardrobe, that bridge is the polo shirt, not the heavily logoed performance polo, not the synthetic peak that pills after 6 washes, a cotton or merino wool peak polo, in navy white or British racing green, with a 2 or 3 button placket and a collar that holds its shape across a full day of wear. The polo works underneath the navy blazer in a way that nothing more casual can manage. It works with the tailored trousers for a summer occasion. It works at weekends, at informal lunches, on boats, at sporting events, and in the space between meetings and evenings, where an Oxford shirt feels slightly too considered. Old money families have worn the polo since the 1920s. It is not a trend. It is a permanent fixture in the old money rotation. And the reason it has survived is the same reason every piece on this list has survived. It is correct. It is versatile. It improves with quality and deteriorates without it. Collar structure is the quality indicator here. A polo collar that rolls after washing is a poorly constructed collar. The right collar holds its shape without ironing, maintains its structure without starch, and lies flat whether the shirt is worn alone or under a layer. 2 pieces left, and these 2 are the ones most people overlook completely, which is exactly why they're the ones that separate a wardrobe that looks old money from one that actually is. Pay attention. 9. The leather belt. This piece requires less description than any other on this list, but it may require the most discipline because it is the piece that most people get exactly wrong in an otherwise correct wardrobe. A leather belt in the same brown family as the penny loafers. Full grain leather, not bonded. A simple silver or gold rectangular buckle. No logo, no pattern, no decorative stitching. Width, 3 centimeters, no more, no less. The kind of belt that has been correct since your grandfather was your age. The rule, the belt and the shoes are always in the same color family. Always. This is not a preference in old money dressing. It is a law. Brown shoes and a black belt is a visible error, and it signals immediately that the rest of the wardrobe was assembled without a guiding logic. Here is why this piece matters disproportionately. The belt is the detail that connects the upper and lower halves of every outfit. It is the first thing that other people who dress well will notice, consciously or not. Get it right, and it becomes invisible. Get it wrong, and it undermines everything above and below it. Full-grain leather, not corrected or bonded, will last 20 years and develop a patina that makes it look better with every passing year. That is the old money standard, the thing that improves with age rather than deteriorating toward replacement. 10. The structured leather bag, the final piece, and the one that ties the entire system to the outside world. Because while everything else on this list is about how you present yourself, the bag is the one piece that communicates what you're carrying and where you're going. Old money carries one bag, not a rotation, not a collection. One bag, a structured leather briefcase, a saddlebag, or a classic rectangular leather tote that serves every occasion they take it to. The structure is what matters. A bag that holds its shape when empty signals that its construction is sound. A bag that collapses and sags is telling you something about what happens to it over time. And over time is always how old money evaluates a purchase. Color, tan, cognac, or dark brown. Not black. Black leather bags have an explicitly corporate formality that the rest of this wardrobe works against. Tan or cognac leather develops a patina across years of use that cannot be manufactured and cannot be replicated by anything new. This is the piece where the entire philosophy of the old money wardrobe becomes most visible. Because a structured leather bag, bought once, used daily, conditioned twice a year, will look extraordinary at 30 years of age. It will tell the story of every room it's been carried into. It will be an object that, unlike almost everything else in modern material culture, becomes more itself over time rather than less. That is old money's relationship with everything on this list. Not a collection of purchases, a collection of investments, in materials, in craft, in the understanding that the thing you buy once and keep forever is always, always worth more than the thing you buy 10 times. A tan leather briefcase on a desk, worn beautifully, patina visible, a hand fastening the clasp, the bag being carried, exterior shot, the complete wardrobe finally assembled and moving through the world. 10 pieces. That's the complete old money wardrobe. The navy blazer, the white Oxford shirt, the cashmere crew neck and camel, tailored wool trousers in charcoal and navy, the camel trench coat, dark indigo straight-leg denim, brown leather penny loafers, the cotton peak polo, the leather belt in the same brown as the shoes, and the structured leather bag that will outlast most of the furniture in your home. Each of these pieces works with every other piece on this list, without exception. That's not luck. That's the logic of a neutral, natural fiber palette with a unified color story. When everything in the wardrobe belongs to the same world, getting dressed stops being a decision and starts being a practice. Every morning becomes the same. Reach for the right piece for the occasion, put it on correctly, and leave. That ease, the quiet confidence of someone who has already solved the problem of what to wear, is not something you buy with a bigger wardrobe. You buy it with a better one. 10 pieces. Bought once. Worn forever. That's the system. One question for the comments. Which of these 10 pieces is missing from your wardrobe right now? And which one do you own that doesn't belong? Drop it below. I want to see how close your current wardrobe already is to this system. Subscribe if you're building the old money lifestyle from the inside out. I'll see you in the next one.